Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Compact Claustrophobia. So, since the last episode, I did go ahead and I let our sticks run out, let all of our picks run out. Basically just while I was working on some other stuff, I had to prep some stuff, and I did some sorting, and I also cleaned up some some compact machines. But if we take a look here with the sticks that we put in the last episode, we have almost 4,000 iron, we have almost 1,200 tin, you can see silver, uranium, copper, gold, flint, redstone, and lead, and nickel. So we've got well over 1,000 of every single material, minus flint. So if we pop out, I did go ahead and pull up these two compact machines. One was the old storage room, and one was the machine workshop room, the old like 3x3 one. This room is really ready to go to, so we just have our farm, our machine room, and then kind of our storage room that we're using here at the moment. We're going to be adding a lot more machines in the coming episodes, but not this episode. If we pop inside of here, I made a note of it in the last episode, but I did upgrade these to reinforced servos. It's working a lot better. It's keeping up and everything. It ran through all that, didn't have any issues or anything, so went ahead and upgraded those, and I realized after last episode that I forgot to run power down to this after I cleaned up. Went ahead and ran power down to this sequential fabricator. These things don't use much power, so it really wasn't a big concern or a big rush, but I did notice that I had forgotten to run power to that. And then I also added a second tiny compact machine to kind of deal with our power issues. Really, each leadstone flux duct line could run a little over 4 of these engine machines here. You know, running 2 through this should be fine for us. I will probably eventually add 2 more to this, because I think 4 of them should run all this setup at a very fast pace very well. Because 2 is going to be able to run all of this and what we're going to be setting up today, I think, without issue. But what we're going to be doing today, which I kind of hinted at it last episode, we're going to be working in this small compact machine, adding just a few more things to kind of help our progression push, make it easier for us as far as pushing into the next step of our progression, right? Getting more compact machines and whatnot. So if we pop inside of here, what we're going to do first and foremost, we're going to put in a tunnel, and this tunnel, we are going to set this up, and you can see I prepped a few things here. We're going to be using these today. I did finally make our Magma Crucible, which basically, is just a couple pieces of netherrack and then some of that hardened glass. So very doable for us at the moment. What we're going to be doing today, let's bring in a line here, I think. And this is going to be, if we come into this room and we take a look, okay, this is the north side, off in this direction. So we're going to come in, and we're going to say that this is going to be the north side. And if we pop out, we should see our item conduits, or our item ducts, they've connected over to there. Let's pop in, yeah, that would be the east side. Let's put another tunnel in right here, and we're going to say that this is going to be the east side. So you can see we are connected to a leadstone flux duct. That's another way I guess we could tell, is right there, item duct, leadstone flux duct. So we're going to bring that through, and we're going to just connect up, whoops, east side, and we're going to connect up a leadstone flux duct there. We're going to pull power in from there, and we are going to be pulling items in here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in, let's do a pulverizer, and we're going to go ahead and clear the configs on these. And then what we're going to do, we're going to bring this over, let's bring our leadstone flux ducts over like that. And let me set this room and say that we're going to come in right here. And these are getting power, that's good. Yeah, I may end up needing, we'll see, but I may end up needing another engine setup. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to bring over, actually let me break this off for just a moment. And I don't really have any. Let me grab some blocks so that I can stand on something. Actually, let me just grab a stack of cobble. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's set up an item duct here, and we're going to say that you insert on the top side. And I've got some filters here. We're going to set some filters. We're going to say that you whitelist cobblestone. And then we're going to bring over our item duct line. And we should see cobblestone start coming into this. And then we're going to set up an item duct line that runs down like this. Break those off for right now. We're going to set that there. And, oh, and over here, let me put in, that's why it's not sending anything, because I didn't put the servo on. So we're going to put a servo in right there. One of the reinforced ones. These move 32 items at a time, so they do move stuff at a decent rate. Once we get dense or impulse item ducts, it's going to run a little bit better all around, but for right now this will be fine. So we should see cobblestone coming into the pulverizer now. And this is going to start pulverizing it. Now right now it's not going to be super fast. It's fine. It's going to be a passive system creating some gravel, creating some sand, which will be fine for us. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set a filter. Let me grab this and that. We're going to set up the other two filters here. And this one, we're going to say that you whitelist and you accept gravel. And then we're going to say that you whitelist and you accept sand. Because this is basically going to be the start of our cobble gen. Honestly, once we speed all this up, feed this a little bit more power into this room, speed this up with upgrades, this is going to be plenty fast for us, I think, for our needs as we progress through the pack. Because bear in mind, this isn't like, this isn't really like an expert pack, where you have like those crazy recipes that just take millions of things. This is just a pack with almost default recipes. It's just a different way to approach things where you're limited on space. So there's no reason for us to go too crazy, too big with our cobble gen, I don't think. And let's go ahead, let's just connect that up again. And what we're going to do is on this, we're going to say that auto output is enabled, and we're going to be outputting both these items from the bottom side. Over here, we're going to say that you input, you output, you input, you output. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to go ahead and throw some gravel into this. I'm going to throw some sand into this. And this isn't connected, of course, to anything just yet. We're going to connect that in just a moment. I did play around with the auto clickers, by the way. They do not work with iron hammers to break down materials. So just a heads up there, I couldn't get those to work for that. Because all they do is they click, periodically. They don't actually consistently hold the, the brake button or whatever. Even at maximum speed, they're not capable of that. Alright, so what we're going to do now that we're producing these things, let me grab a little bit of dust, let me grab a little bit of sand, let me grab a little bit of gravel. Now we're also going to be producing flint because gravel, when it's ran through the pulverizer, it does produce sand and it produces flint. And I am going to be adding a redstone furnace to make glass to this, but we're going to do it a little bit later because right now I think I'd rather just have sand for the time being, and then we'll automate that once kind of our buffers start to fill up on these other things. So what we're going to do now is we're going to run an item duct, and we're going to put in another tunnel here. This tunnel, this is going to be, attach that. Let me disconnect that. Let's see, we're going to be doing this on the south side. Yeah, I think so. And if we come through here, yeah, you can see we're connected to an item duct there. And we're going to run out this item duct right there. And we're going to put in another tunnel from this compact machine. And this one is going to be... I done past it. It was the basic setting. We're going to be running this out on the upside. And we're just going to be basically feeding it through there. And then we're going to pop out one more layer into this room, into kind of the storage room that connects to our our little metal and cobble system. And we're going to set up a few caches here. And these are going to be setting, let's see, we're going to have gravel, sand, dust. And I'm also going to be feeding cobblestone over. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I probably will end up adding something up there. We'll see. And we're going to go ahead and just slot in cobblestone, because this is going to be, even though we have that cache in the other room with cobblestone, that's just kind of a buffer storage. This is where we're going to store what we actually access with our, with our storage network in, the coming episodes. So we're going to store cobblestone, gravel, sand, and dust here. And of course, flint already has a slot here that we can utilize. And so we're going to run our item duct line like this. And yeah, I guess I won't put anything on the top, but I want it up against the wall instead of running behind it for this side. Yeah, I think so. And then I'm going to do a little bit of storage on this side also, but a little bit later. So we'll just run this over like that. Yeah, there's no downside to really having this plugged up to the same line, I don't think. Because these caches kind of work like filters and they only accept a certain thing, so it's not really a big deal for us. And we're going to go ahead and just lock these in. And then we should be good. Oh, and I did upgrade these to hardened. I can't remember if I did that last episode or did it now. Or if I did it, after. I think I did it after, though. I did upgrade these to hardened, just to give us a bit more storage space on these. Because the hardened upgrade kits are not expensive. I'm not really doing the reinforced right now too heavily because they are a bit more expensive. Alright, so let's pop back over. Yeah, I think we're good there. So we'll pop back into here. And we're going to go ahead and just plug this up. Now what we should see is after a moment it should send those items out and they should get sent to storage. I think everything's connected. It goes through here. That connects to an item duct. On the other side, that item duct goes through to the upside item duct, which then comes out right here and comes across. I did set up one of these. I was kind of just testing it because I wasn't familiar with energy meters. Basically, this, you can see total transferred. The way this works is you input power like on the left side here, you output power on the right side, and then it just reads the energy that passes through, so you can see the rate that it's transferring and the total transfer and stuff. And you can change your display here for the different energy types. You can set the transfer rate if you want a specific transfer rate, which I do quite like that, and you can have it be controlled by redstone. So kind of a neat little thing. I was just kind of playing around with it. And it's super cheap at this point. It's just like cobblestone and some iron and redstone. So it was like, whatever, I'm going to make one of these and play around with it. It did complete a quest. So that's why that's there. It's not really serving any purpose at the moment. But you can see like this takes 60 RF per tick. So you're going to see it stays at about right around 60 RF per tick that it's reading as it passes through. But just plugging it, like if I was to just stick it on this leadstone flux duct right here, it's not going to do anything because energy is not actually transferring through it. And you can only have, like if I click here, it just changes the input. So you can only have one input, one output. You can't actually split power that moves through it or anything like that. It's just literally there just to give you a couple control options for energy and a display as to how much energy is moving through it. Okay, I was doing some testing and messing around with it. It's not going to work out for us, so we're going to have to just break all this down. I tried, at first I thought, well, I started thinking, well, maybe it was because we were pumping it just right into there. That didn't work, like changing that out, it didn't help. Then I thought, well, maybe it has to do with, maybe if I stuck servos on, other sides of it. That didn't help. Like telling the servos to, to pull out the items, and actually this item duct up there we don't need at the moment. We will later, but I don't know if it'll be an item duct when that happens though. And I tried, I tried a few different things. It didn't quite work out for us, so we're just going to have to break all that down and come back to what we had before. So what we're going to do then, in that case, is we are just going to have the items pump over. Okay, let's actually just pull these off entirely. Pull this off. And we're going to put the filters then instead, just to make this a little bit better. We're going to put the filters on the bottom side here. And we're going to whitelist and do the same thing here. We're going to say the sand, the gravel, the cobblestone, like that. And then we're going to run our item duct line like that. And then we're going to switch these over, say blue and orange. Okay, and basically just reverse it all. So we're going to be outputting out the top side now. And then what we're going to do is, let's do that. We're going to add in an item duct line here. And this is going to come out like that. It's going to come out, it's going to connect over to there as well. And we're going to put in caches. So we're going to put a cache there, there. And we're going to put in sand. We're going to put in dust. I actually don't need this one here because I'm not going to be storing the cobble now. But I am going to be storing flint. So we're going to have that. And then we're going to feed over. Let me actually just pop out. And grab us a piece of flint here. So we can go ahead and slot that in. Lock all that. There we go. And then we're going to connect this over like so. Okay, so right now it's going to be filling up gravel. It's going to be dumping all of the stuff into gravel. And then whenever that gets done, right now we'll just be producing gravel and then sand byproduct. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that and let it do its thing. Once it fills up, this with gravel, then it's going to start sending that gravel over to this pulverizer. At which point, then, it's going to start feeding that sand up and finishing out the sand. Once that sand fills up, it'll start running it down and around into here. And it's going to make sand and gravel from there. And then it's going to feed it around and go into the dust and start filling that out. And I think that's going to be good for us. It won't take that terribly long, I don't think. And I may, once I add some more power into this, either between this episode and next, or probably it might be a couple episodes, I might just let this run in the background because sand and gravel are the two things I really, really need. Dust we are going to need, but once we have sand backed up, I can just take a stack of sand, throw it into there, and let it run and make dust for us. But we'll let this start backing up, and we dump all of my gravel that I had gotten. So there's 178. This is going to store like 10,000, but that's fine. And then what we'll do, we've got that running. I think what I want to do, just to make plugging this up to refined storage a little bit easier for us down the road, let's go ahead and put in cobble there and add one more item duct that connects over like that. And we'll lock that in. Now I could set it up so that it extracts out the top of these and then feeds in the system. And basically what that would do is that would change the order. So instead of it prioritizing gravel and then sand and then dust, it would then prioritize dust and then sand and then gravel. But I think I'd rather have the gravel and sand be first because I'm getting two items of the, two items of the total 3 that we really, really need from this. I'm getting 2 of those that are being created instead of just 1. And then in addition, I've got more uses at the moment for these two than the dust. Even though we are going to need the dust for sieving before too long. But I'm thinking by that point maybe we'll be in a better spot for gravel. I might even let it just run for a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see. It's easier to break down a stack of sand than it is to, try to get a stack of gravel from a system that's running through to make dust. Alright, so now what we're going to do, and I'm thinking once we get to refined storage, then we can just run those lines through and then just external storage across the top, and then I think we'll be good. But we'll have to see how it behaves with refined storage when that time comes. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to go ahead, I want to take this Magma Crucible, and I want to set up another thing here. And what we're going to do is we're going to set in our power line is there. Okay. Let's run the power line over. And we're going to put in our Magma Crucible. It's going to have a filter. Grab a piece of that. We're going to say that you can whitelist and you'd accept cobblestone. Okay. It is feeding that down. That's perfect. It's going to take that cobblestone and it's going to break it down into lava. Now this is going to be a very slow process. We'll set the top to input. It's going to be a very, very, very slow process. As you can see, there's a percent, and it's using 100 RF per tick. That's fine. I'm not worried about the power consumption, but it is going to be producing lava. This is more of a passive system. Now we can speed this up with, upgrades. Now I know that there is, let me take a look here. The Magma Crucible should have an augment. Yeah, the Pyroconvective Loop. Greatly increases lava production speed, but only lava can be created. That's what we're going to make. We're going to make a Pyroconvective Loop. So this is going to take nether brick. That's fine, but that's 4 netherrack. And I'd kind of rather wait till we have 4 lava from this before we set that up. Let me go ahead and start getting the things together real quick. So that we can make that. And I need to get a Hardened Upgrade Kit also, which is fine. I've got the Invar. I made a bunch of Invar. Between episodes. So that, the bronze, the redstone. Now what I do have to do is make a bunch more bronze. I'm probably going to make a few stacks of bronze, a few stacks of Invar, and a few stacks of Electrum so that we've got them. And hopefully by the time that we need more, we'll be at the point where we'll start automating them. Because that's coming up on our list of things to do. But alright, so Pyroconvective Loop, that's the Electrum and redstone. So there's everything except for the nether brick. Okay, that's fine. Let me go ahead. Alright. I'll be back once this gets done. Actually, let me go ahead and throw this on. This will speed it up slightly. Not by much, but it will speed it up slightly. So, and then I will be back. Okay, our last bit of lava is done. We'll go ahead and get that netherrack. And we're going to pop over... let's go actually out to here. And we'll get that smelted up real quick. Get our nether bricks. That way we can make our Pyroconvective Loop. And this should help us out quite a bit as far as just lava production. I don't recall what it does to the RF cost, but we will find out. So I want to say that it takes more power, but maybe it doesn't. But you can see that the downside to this is only lava can then be created, but that doesn't matter because that's kind of the purpose of it, is just making lava. So let's go ahead, let's put this in. Right now it's 150 RF per tick to run this. We throw that in there. Oh god. Yeah, we're not going to be able to support that. Not even a little bit. What can we support? We can support... not much, actually. Not much. That does make sense, because I think each of those engines can only do like 240 RF per tick. Yeah. This means that it's going to be eating like all the power. But you'll notice that it is seeming to prioritize the other machines, and this one's getting like the least priority. So really, if it just kind of gets all the excess power that's being made, that's fine, because I am planning on making a couple more of those little engine systems. So if I do that, this would bump up to about probably around 800 RF per tick. This is still going to be faster than not having this, because, you know, it's feeding more power. You can see that it is visually moving faster. It's creating a bit more lava. And we can just kind of upscale it as we get more power generation in this area. May even make a few engines that are just for basically buffing this up a little bit. But to do that, I'd really have to upgrade from the leadstone flux ducts, realistically. Or just put them here, and that way they're closer, and they're going to prioritize this more than sending their power through over to there. But yeah, I think that'll be okay. The machines in this room should be getting power. Well, actually, they're not even really running at the moment, so it's getting the majority of the power. Just the igneous extruder that's running at 30 RF per tick, and then like that one pulverizer over here that's running at like 20 RF per tick. So we're really only using like 50 right now until I throw more sticks in the system. So I think this will be fine, and we'll start producing that lava there. And that should be okay. Alright, so now what we're going to do, let me pop out. Now, we haven't yet made a fluid duct, and I would like to do that. We could also just make fluid conduits. I don't know what the cost difference is going to be. I think we can pull off... Yeah, we can pull that off. But there's also just thermodynamics. We would have to go with the hardened fluid duct. But that's just... it's hardened glass. I think I'm just going to go with these. They're cheaper and they move plenty for our current system, I think. So for this, we're going to need gravel, sand, clay. Sounds good. And let me actually pop out, because we're going to need some water anyways. Let me pop over to here. Okay, I'm going to set up kind of a temporary little infinite water source right here. And let me get some dust made real quick. And we can throw that dust in and get our clay. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and just break this down. Alright, so there's our conduit binder. And then pop through here, get that smelted up, and then we can get our first fluid conduits. Okay, now at this point, do we want to make a portable tank? I'm thinking so. We did the fluid tanks before. I think I want 2 portable tanks, because these are definitely in our wheelhouse at this point. And so this is why I kind of want the sand right now, because we're going to start using this a bit. So I'm going to get the stuff to make 2 portable tanks. Let me just toss this. I randomly get grit, you know, from hitting the walls. That won't be an issue for too long in a lot of our rooms, especially the rooms we're going to be spending time in. Actually, once we push into the next size of compact machine, we're actually going to start making things look and feel a bit nicer. I think at that point, it's a bit more reasonable to do that, because those are like 7x7s, a lot more space than these 5x5s. So we're going to be having some fun here very, very soon. Starting, I think, next episode, to be honest. I think it'll be next episode whenever we start kind of pushing progression a bit more. Went too far. Alright, so let's get this. There's our 2 redstone servos. And then we're going to get our 2 portable tanks. Okay, now at this point, let's go ahead. Let's pop in. Let me pull this up. We're going to put that right back down here in just a second. So let's do that. We're going to say that. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and let's run this over. Let me set this here. This room's going to get filled up really, really quick. Basically, just this episode. But we're going to be setting up things that just make our lives so much easier. Alright, so we're going to put our portable tank for lava. Setting... Actually, no, I don't want it to go out that far. Let me pull that up. We're going to set our portable tank for lava right there. We're going to say that you output out the bottom. Okay, so it's going to start feeding lava up into this portable tank. So there's that. And then, I think if I just did it here, though, that would be okay. Alright, so we'll put that stone barrel in right there. So it's going to start getting lava. You could see that both of them are kind of filling up, which is fine. If they're both getting a little bit of that, that's okay. Because this will just passively fill up. I just want to have some lava available for our personal needs. Most of the lava that we're going to be needing is going to be for obsidian, for making that pulverized obsidian. Now, long term, we will speed this up a lot and have this thing like kicking out lava really, really fast. But for right now, this is going to be perfectly fine for us. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we are going to put in, I'm thinking, honestly, just trapdoors. Yeah, I think so. So let me just whip up 2 trapdoors. We'll head back in. We're going to put, let's see. We're going to put 1 trapdoor there, 1 trapdoor there. No, I'm sorry. 1 trapdoor there. And 1 trapdoor there. And then we're going to place in our water there. Okay. And I'm out of caches. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to have to make another cache. That's fine. That's okay. I have to pop out to make a couple things anyways. These are so easy to make. Like, honestly, before, like, the last 2 episodes, I would have hated making a bunch of these. Just because it's like, anything with metals was just so annoying to make, and now it's just like, it's whatever. I also want to make, while I'm up here, an Aqueous Accumulator. So let me get the stuff for that. That was iron gears. Device frames are copper and tin, and I need more. I do need more glass. We'll definitely be setting up the glass creation before too long. I'm just going to wait till things actually start building up as far as just, having resources. At least start getting a bit of dust in before I do that. Because that's a little bit more important than me having to occasionally cook glass at the moment. So there's our device frame. And we need 2 more glass. I didn't even look at that, to be honest. Okay, so there's our Aqueous Accumulator. Alright, so now, pop back over. And we got our cache. So what I want to do is, we just put that there. And then we should have the 1 trapdoor. And let me put in, this is backed up. There's another bucket of lava. Yay. Let's go ahead and let's run an item duct here. It doesn't really need a reinforced servo, but it's whatever. They're all about the same cost, to be honest. And we're going to start pumping up obsidian to there. So now we're creating some obsidian as well, along with these things. And lava. And then what I want to do is over here, I'm probably going to make a few more trapdoors, to be honest, for this, but we're going to put in an Aqueous Accumulator that sets, say, here. And it's going to start creating water. There we go. And this is I want this basically so that I don't have to worry about water and we always have it. Because right now, I don't have an infinite water source somewhere. I don't have water really stored and automatically created. So if I use all of it on accident, then I'm like, oh man, now I got to pull out that crucible again and start dumping seeds and junk into it. And I really don't want to deal with that. And then we're going to put this in, let's just do it like here. And then we'll just run this over like so. And there we go. Now we can create water. Yay. And then let me put in some trapdoors. Let me pop out. Let me make what I need, like 3 more. Okay, so there we go. And then we've still got a little bit of space that we're going to use for a couple of the things. I might actually start working on the compact little engines between episodes. We'll see. And try to get a few more of those so that our lava creation's faster. And honestly, I would kind of like to go ahead maybe and speed these pulverizers up at least a little bit. Now that we have obsidian being like passively created here, it would be a lot easier to do that now. Because obsidian's not a nightmare and a pain for me to create, and I don't have to jump on the squeezer and make blaze powder and all that mess. I can just I just have it, you know. It is going to make our lives a lot easier as far as those upgrades go with the hardened. It'll get easier, but for right now, that's pretty reasonable. And it's honestly the things that we've done in the last like 3 episodes. It's going to make our lives way easier moving forward. Because this takes a lot of the grindy part of this pack out completely, where we have metals and we have these basic materials as we begin moving forward. So, with that, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode, so I'm going to end this one out here. Next episode, when we come back, we are going to be pushing progression into basically getting into the crusher and moving towards these right here. Probably getting into these right here come next episode. Because the crusher, the biggest thing that was going to make the crusher a pain to make was metals. And now that we have metals, the crusher's not a pain to make. And so we can start pushing into this, which is just a lot of modularium and stuff. And once we have this, then we can start working on getting diamonds, getting refined storage, and yeah, lots of good things. And I would also like to start getting into the glitch machines. We have this glitched adventures. That actually sounds kind of cool. Complete the task before the unstable dimension collapses. Yeah, we might have to start getting into these. They sound interesting. I'm not even sure what all will be happening up in those, but we'll find out. But yeah, so anyways, like I said, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode, so I'm going to end this one out here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Just stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care. Stay safe. I will see you guys then.